You're watching ETVN Philippines.
Mga kapanalig kay Kristo, maligayang bati at Merry Christmas! Ako po si Brother Rick Saludo, host at writer ng Emmanuel TV Network, at ito ang bagong programa ng ETVN. Napanood mo ba? Faith Videos Not to Miss. Sa show na ito, ibibida ko ang ilang video na magandang mapanood nating mga Katoliko. Ang dami kasing video sa internet at imposibleng panoorin lahat. Kaya pinipili na namin ang ilang hot videos para sa inyo. At magpapakita kami ng kapiraso ng mga video, tapos ibibigay rin ang online link para ma-picture nyo at mapuntahan sa YouTube. Pero ba tayo magsimula? Ay ibibida ko lang itong aking suot na dilaw na t-shirt. Ito po ang t-shirt ng Men of St. Joseph. Yan po ang samahang parokya na mandato po ng ating Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines para naman tayong mga kalalakihan ay may malahokang grupo sa ating mga parokya. Kung interesado po kayong magkaroon ng Men of St. Joseph sa inyong parokya, sumangguni po sa Men of St. Joseph Philippines at ilalagay po natin kung saan tatawag. Gayon din, pwede kayong sumangguni sa inyong mga obispo at dioceses. Umpisa na tayo. Napanood ba ninyo ang 12 inexplicable facts about Our Lady of Guadalupe? Noong December 12, nag-celebrate tayo ng Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Ito ang secondary patron ng Pilipinas. Nagpakita siya sa Mexico noong 1531 sa magsasakang San Juan Diego. At milagrosa ang iniwang larawan ng mahal na birhen sa kapa o tilma ni Juan Diego. Sa panahon natin, selfie ang itatawag sa larawan. Pero ang milagro, matapos ang halos 500 taon, 500 years, walang kupas ang larawan at buo pa rin ang kapa. At marami pang ibang amazing facts na makikita sa video.
The eyes of the lady depicted on this piece of fabric are literally alive. Well, yes. When the scientists looked at the eyes through an ophthalmoscope, they were shocked to realize that the iris reacted to light just like your eyes would. Okay, I'll come back to the scientists' exact conclusions a little later, but you'll see that you're really not at the end of your surprises. You may think this is nonsense, but today it is not for nothing that this piece of fabric is one of the greatest mysteries of all time for science, and hundreds of scientists around the world continue to study it. Because yes, in fact, the strange eyes of this lady are just one element among the 10 others that still have no explanation to this day regarding this image. We are in 1929 in Mexico. Mr. Alfonso Marque Gonzalez, a professional photographer, was invited to the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe to take photos of a cloth that the basilica treasures. This fabric, 1 meter 70 tall and 1 meter 5 wide, depicts the Virgin Mary. Well, so far, nothing special. It looks like an old painting that dates back several centuries. Alfonso takes the photos and goes home. But when he enlarges some negatives of the face in the image, he discovers the reflection of a bearded man in the eyes. Alfonso is the first to see this, but he doesn't know it yet. At the time, almost no one pays attention to the photographer's statement, and it takes a few more decades for things to pick up speed. On May 29, 1951, a Tunis G. Carlos Salinas Chavez in turn discovers, using a high magnification lens on a photo of the cloth, that there seems to be a bearded man in the right eye of the image. He soon finds him in the left eye as well, but positioned just slightly differently, almost a bit off. Strange, In any case, this time the information is making waves. The Catholic authorities, who hold the cloth, are informed and they then request several experts to analyze the fabric. Here are the names of about 10 scientists, mainly ophthalmologists, who studied the eyes of the lady in the following years, along with the dates they conducted their studies.
At hindi lang ang aparisyon sa Mexico ng Our Lady of Guadalupe, may mga video tayo tungkol sa iba pang aparisyon ni Maria sa ating channel ETVN, Emmanuel TV Network. Si Archbishop Emeritus Ramon Argelles, ang dating arsobispo ng Lipa, ang narrator ng mga aparisyon at mensahe ni Mama Mary. Ito ang una sa maraming video tungkol sa pagpapakita sa Fatima, sa Garabandal, at maging sa Muslim na bayang Ehipto.
We welcome you to this program and we hope that you will join us in the spirit of love for God and love for our Holy Mother and love for the Church. You will join us in prayerful reflection of what the Holy Mother is doing to her children until now out of fidelity to her only begotten Son, Jesus, the only begotten Son of God. So hopefully we will be together time and again to reflect on different events, different occasions where people believe that the Holy Mother has appeared to some people. And some of these apparitions are approved by the Church. Others are considered worthy of reflection and devotion. Other apparitions of the Blessed Mother may await reflection, but we will try to, or we will await approval, but we will try to learn from these interventions of the Holy Mother.
Yan po ang ating mahal na Arsobispo Emeritus ng Lipa, Ramon Argelles, na tumutukoy sa mga pagpapakita at mensahe ng ating Mama Mary. Ngayon, tuloy tayo naman sa isa pang hot topic sa relihiyon. Talaga bang Catholic Church ang tunay na relihiyon? Ito ang pangaral ng batikang preacher na si Brother Mark Evangelista sa kanyang programang Defend the Faith dito po sa ETVN. Sabi ni Brother Mark, maraming naguguluhan sa dami ng mga sekta at relihiyon na Kristiyano. Kaya inexplain na niya ang tatlong panuntunan ng katotohanan ng Katolisismo. But wait! Ano nga ba ang mga tanda ng pagiging Katoliko? Maraming video at article tungkol sa ating mga paniniwala at baka maguluhan ng marami sa atin. Ngayon, kung gusto natin ng simpleng paliwanag, panoorin natin ang Defend Your Faith, 7 Truths of the Church You Must Know. Yan po ay maikling pagsisinop ng ating mga kaalaman, paniniwala, pananalig sa simbahang Katoliko.
Meron po tayong tinatawag na tatlong pamantayan para patunayan na ang Iglesia Katolika ang umiiral na tunay, totoo, authentic, legit na simbahang itinayo ni Jesus. Bakit? Sapagkat ang Iglesia Katolika lamang po ang may tinatawag tayong fullness of faith. Yung talagang sustansya, yung kabuuan. Hindi tayo nagbubuhat ng bangko. Sinasabi po natin ito dahil ito po ang katotohanan. Tandaan po natin, ang pumapanig sa kasinungalingan ay anak ni Satanas. Kasi sabi po sa John chapter 8, di po ba? Ang Diablo o si Satanas, ang inyong ama, ang ama ng kasinungalingan. Kaya tayo, tumitindig tayo ng pawang katotohanan lamang. Ang Iglesia Katolika, nariyan ang fullness of our faith. Una, ano po yung aking sinasabing tatlong pamantayan, tatlong kategorya para bigyang prueba that the Catholic Church is the true church founded by our Lord Jesus Christ. Simple lang po. Pag binasa natin ang tinatawag nating Mateo chapter 16 verse 18. Ang sabi ng Panginoon doon, itatayo ko ang aking iglesia. Hindi ko niya binanggit doon, itatayo ko ang aking mga iglesia. Kaya, singular po yung ginamit niya doon. Aking iglesia. So mga minamahal kong taga-subaybay, ang tanong ay, si Jesus ba nagtayo ng iglesia o simbahan? Opo. Ilan ang tinayo? Aking iglesia, isa lang po. Hindi ho dibidibisyon. Kasi hindi ho ganon ang Diyos. Ang Diyos ay Diyos ng kaayusan. Now, itong iglesia na to, sino ang ulo? Siya. Ano ang iglesia? Kanyang katawan. O kailan kayo nakakita na 2 ulo, 3 ulo, 5 ulo, isa katawan? Or isang ulo, maraming katawan? Hindi ho. Alien na ho yun. So sa Efeso, maliwanag, inilarawan doon ni Apostol Pablo na si Jesus ang ulo ng iglesia at ang iglesia ang kanyang katawan. Meaning to say, isang ulo, isang katawan.
At bago natin iwan ang mga video ng Katolisismo, patawa naman. Narito ang 12 jokes about being Catholic.
I have tons of friends who aren't Catholic, and a lot of them, they get into some of historically Catholic traditions, like Lent, like Advent, and I think that's great, but I do tell them there are some traditions that you're going to want to leave to us, like relics. A lot of people don't know what this is, so I will explain. Okay, in Catholicism, there's a tradition that when a holy person dies, we like to keep a piece of their clothing or Okay, we might also keep a piece of their bodies. Okay, we take pieces of their bodies, we carry it around in little... Okay, listen, just because serial killers also do it does not mean it's weird. It's a lovely tradition. Sometimes, if we really like a saint, we'll go big. We'll go big with the relics. And so there is a woman, she lived like 600 years ago. Her name is Catherine of Siena. And, whoa, yes! This is a very different night for the Des Moines Funny Bone, you know? They're not, yeah. Not a lot of comics bring up Catherine of Siena and then get a huge response, you know? I will say, at least the staff is not like, another Catherine of Siena joke. If I've heard one, I've heard them all. Like, come on. There is a church in Italy. I'm just going to cut to the chase. We have her whole head on display in a glass box. Listen, it sounds weird. I'm with you for those of you who aren't Catholic. I know it sounds weird, but the church is also very ancient. And so when you're standing in this ancient church, and it's just actually really a beautiful moment to be standing right next to this person, well, just their head, but this person who brought so much love and goodness into the world. It's actually a very moving thing in the whole historical context. But I do tell my Protestant friends, you're going to want to leave this one to us. Can you imagine if you walked into your local megachurch called Celebration Station? And in the lobby next to the coffee shop is a glass box with a guy's head in it. And they're like, that's Pastor Cody. He was great. I think the reason that we Catholics can get away with it is our religion is known for meditating on suffering and darkness, and it's so old, it's so ancient. Like there's an actual church in England where the monks who founded it, like 800 years ago, the monks who founded it requested that their skulls be used to form kind of a pulpit at the front of the church. But you know, again, if you walk into Celebration Station and like in front of the band, you know, if they're like, that was the bake sale team. It's like that.
Enjoy ba kayo? O ito pa ang isang Catholic jokes video.
My wife's really Catholic. She's like a Shiite Catholic. She's always worried about Diablo. So I joke around with her, I'll call her up, say, who is this? And I'll just go, the devil. She brings me to church every Sunday. If you've never been to a Catholic Mass, that is the longest experience of your life. Makes you look forward to going to the DMV. Times it seems like they're dragging church out on purpose. Like, I'm in already! Let's wrap it up. I got some sinning to do. There's too much standing involved in church. Can I lie down and worship? Well, I mean the hot pocket. God pocket. I mostly daydream in church. I always have that introspective look on my face, like, But on the inside, I'm like, did I go to Wendy's twice yesterday? Not a good Catholic. I don't even feel comfortable when someone's praying next to me in church. I'm like, can you do that outside? Yeah, I'm trying to check out some of the ladies in here. I do have the dirtiest thoughts in church. I'm always like, peace be with you, and an extra piece for you. Because you deserve it.
Okay, seryoso ulit. Share ko sa inyo ang dalawang video na tungkol sa doktrinang Katoliko na marahil hindi gusto ng marami maging mga Katoliko. Una, ang turo at batas ng simbahan kontra sa divorce, yung pagsira sa pag-aasawa upang mapaghiwalay ang lalaki at babae. Sabi ng isang kilalang preacher sa Amerika, si Father Chris Alar, legal at karaniwan na ang diborsyo sa Estados Unidos. Hindi gaya rito. Ang Pilipinas ang nag-iisang bansa kung saan bawal ang divorce. Bakit? Dahil sumusunod tayo sa batas ng simbahang Katoliko. Ayon sa paliwanag ni Father Chris.
As hot issues or button issues that provoke discussion, nobody, not even Catholics, discuss divorce and contraception amongst voting, and really even amongst our lives and the way we live in terms of the moral teaching of the church. They are completely forgotten because it's completely accepted. Divorce and contraception, completely accepted even amongst Catholics. Now, please don't shoot the messenger. I get letters all the time, Father Chris, I completely disagree with you. And I always say, well, it's not me you're disagreeing with. I simply am giving you the teaching of the church. What you do with it is between you and God. I will have to meet God one day, and I know I'm going to have to be accountable. Did I give you the truth? And that is what I'm going to do now. As difficult as some of it may be, but there is stuff here that makes sense. Jesus confirms marriage is to be between one man and one woman, not anything else. That's it. Marriage between one man and one woman, and it is for life. We just heard Brother Alex read this in Genesis. Now, Jesus teaches that true discipleship is not easy. Many can't follow it. The road is narrow and few follow it. And being a disciple is not to include concessions because of weakness. It's just hard. But the reward, when we get there, is going to all be worth it. Now, divorce is excluded and remarriage becomes adultery, Jesus says. Well, let's qualify this because the church, all authority was given to the church by Christ. So what the church also says on this is important. And sometimes the church qualifies what is listed or read in the gospel. doesn't change it, it qualifies it.
Yun po si Father Chris Alar tungkol sa batas ng simbahan pagdating sa diborsyo. Ngayon, ang isa pang nakadidistorbo sa mga Katoliko, ang pangaral ng ating simbahan sa mga kaisipang malaswa. Madalas mangyari ito sa napakaraming tao, lalo na sa modernong panahong puno ng mga larawan, video, advertisement at pananamit na mapang-akit kumbaga. Kaya magandang mapanood ang paliwanag ni Father Chad Ripperger. Siya po ay exorcist sa Amerika. Kasalanan nga ba ang malikot na pag-iisip? Pakinggan natin.
I've spoken to quite a lot of young people, traditional Catholics, who have raised the point that the most common cause of scrupulosity is really with regard to the sins against the sixth commandment, with regard to thought, for example, impure thoughts and things like that. They worry that if an impure thought has entered their mind, that therefore they've consented to it, entertained it, and that it's a mortal sin. I'm just wondering if it might be helpful if you could offer perhaps a guideline for how one can know if one has consented to a thought like that.
Yeah, that's actually that is probably one of the key questions that comes up, and that's my experience too. Is that it usually revolves around the sixth commandment, and part of it has to do with the before I get into that, some of it actually has to do with the fact that traditional Catholics don't want to commit mortal sin, and they don't want to commit sin, and so what happens is when the thought kind of comes in, there is what the demons very often are looking for is when they put the temptation of the impure thought into our minds, what they're looking for sometimes is not even so much the initial consent to the thought, because they know you're more than likely not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What they're looking for is for your reaction in fear that, oh, I could fall here, or oh, this is dangerous area, or this is mortal sin territory, I got to stop. And then once that fear enters in, then they hold the fear and drive the person to think, oh, did I commit it? Or, et cetera. So that's one of the reasons why they have to really work on courage and hope, among other things, and trust in God, et cetera, which we can talk about some of the spiritual things. But as far as that goes, so when a thought comes into the mind, we don't have any control over that necessarily. I think sometimes you'll get scrupulous people who will say, oh, well, but if I was perfect, I wouldn't have this problem. That's not necessarily the case. Because even the saints who reach perfection, even, like Teresa of Avila and some of these other saints that had reached highest levels of prayer complained about these distractions and that type of thing. And so, and one of the things that people have to realize is that even when we reach a certain level of perfection, God, St. Thomas says, in order for us to maintain a virtue, but also to continue to grow in the virtue, will allow the temptations to come from time to time. So,
Ang dami na nating panonoorin. Pero isa pa, paano natin malalaman kung ano ang gusto ng Diyos sa ating buhay? Ayan, syempre, ang tanong ng marami, lalo na mga kabataan, iniisip po, anong mangyayari sa buhay ko, anong gusto ng Diyos? Diyan po papasok ang ating Monsignor Madlang Bayan sa kanyang palabas sa ETVN, kapilang ang ating mga kabataang lumahok sa kanyang programa.
Bilang isang kabataan po na nalilito pa sa purpose sa buhay,
Wow.
paano po namin matutuklasan ang tawag ng Diyos para sa amin?
Oo. Isa sa mga perennial tanong ng tao, hindi lang kabataan, sino ako? Who am I? Bakit? Sapagkat tayo basta lumabas sa mundo. Hindi naman natin alam. Lumabas tayo, nilikha tayo. Kayo, inianak doon, inianak din. Iba't iba tayo ngayon ay litong-lito. Ano ba ito? Kaya kung tatanong mo sa akin, kayo nalilito. Talaga. Ano nga ba ako? Ano nga ba talagang dapat kong gawin? Ngayon, dito papasok si God. Siya ang lumikha sa atin eh. And you could very well ask God, what is it na gusto niya sa iyo? Pero one real thing is this. Yung sabi ko sa inyo, yung marami sa mga tao ang katulad niyan. So, ang akala lamang ay mabuhay, and then pagkatapos, at itanong mo, ikaw na nabubuhay nga, ikaw na sinilay. Ngayong ikaw ay grade 6 na. Kaya pag tinanong ka, bakit ka ba nabubuhay? Para mamatay. Yun lang naman eh. Which, na yun ang magiging kaisipan mo, kung hindi ka magsasaliksik at magtatanong. At makikinig sa iba na nabuhay ng una sa'yo. And this is the need to listen to the church where you belong, listen to your parents who raised you up, listen to your teachers who are older than you. Dito kailangan ang to listen and to listen to others na nauna na sa atin. At laging sasabihin sa inyo na kung ano man ang iyong inclination sa buhay, that is what God wants you to be.
Ayan na po ang una naming episode ng Napanood Mo Ba? Faith Videos Not to Miss. Salamat sa panonood ninyo at huwag ninyong kalilimutang mag-subscribe para malaman agad ninyo kung may bago tayong video. Share na rin ninyo para malaman ng mga friends natin kung ano ang magandang i-watch. At i-like na rin ninyo para malaman po ng tao na ito po ay talagang kawili-wili at puno ng karunungan at pangaral. Hanggang sa susunod na palabas, ito si Brother Rick Saludo ng ETVN. Blessed be God!
You're watching ETVN Philippines.